All right, the tip of the week is going to be about the direction of your shading lines. And I teach my students in class a lot for a long drawing to do this directional line. It's an easy type of line. It comes down towards your stomach, and it's a fast way to get some tone down, just going on that diagonal. But the problem with that sometimes is that your drawing starts to look like cotton, and your muscles just go like a little flat. So if we move over to the left here and I show you this little drawing, this is the beginnings of, I'm matching my values, I'm drawing the shadow shape, and I'm going on a diagonal. Now what I want to talk to is layering on top of that tone, because I'm pro doing that tone, but layering on top of that tone some directional lines that are going to show the viewer things looking a bit more three-dimensional. So like over here with this breast, this thing's just going to maybe wrap around, and you don't want to overkill this, this muscle over here that's going to wrap around. So put these lines on top of that tone. Another way to shade is not to do that type of generic diagonal tone, but to have like your shading lines be the opposite C's. So if we got an opposite C over here, opposite C over here, opposite C over here, that's the way my shading is going to go. So this chest muscle would come in, and then maybe I'd come down with my tone if I'm shading the shadow shape on that opposite C. And then I've got another one over here for the little indent of that pelvis. And then I've got this long one for the quad of the upper leg. And so you really want to be conscious with the way that you shade. Same thing over here now. I've got my shadow shape established, and you don't even have to do that. You don't even have to establish a shadow shape. It could be more of like a line type shading and not pure tone. But now I'm thinking about the form and a couple of strategic lines coming on down, wrapping around, and then muscle indent, and then opposite C. That would come down too. So bottom of the butt is round, so my shading lines are going to go round. And so again, if I show you like these legs over here, I started with this generic shading. And again, this is the beginnings of doing a long drawing, and this shading would go into modeling factors, which I will save for another tip. But what you want to do on top of this, so let's say there's a muscle separation over here, I'd go a couple of lines, show the viewer that's round. Couple of lines over here, show the viewers that's round. And then if we go down to this little line drawing, you can even do it with your line with minimal. So if my rib cage is coming this way, I go with that line. Center line of the abs, wrap around the stomach, lower abs. Okay, so it just gives your drawing like a lot of punch and a lot of three-dimension. Here is another example of doing the shading lines with the lay of the land, I like to call it. So on this particular torso statue, what I did was I still found the line that separated the light from the dark, and I came all the way down. But now, instead of doing the generic diagonal, I'm coming down with the lay of the land. So I'm coming down this way, I'm coming down this way, I'm breaking my line. All these shading lines, I'm really paying attention to the direction of which way the muscle fibers are going. So with this deltoid, I'm coming around this way. And then you layer on top of that, even still, the directional lines. So I've got this oblique is wrapping around this way. The deltoid is wrapping around this way. The lower back is coming into that oblique, and then the butt is wrapping around this way, the butt is wrapping around that way. And so promote this roundness of the thigh. And then down to this lower torso, same thing. I had a torso similar on the one that I just showed you, but same thing. It's come around, shading lines, give it pump, come around, pop it, make your drawings have some power, opposite C's, coming on down. And don't think O is short. Try to get some in that are really long. And then our last one is this right up top here. So nice little torso. I'm just got a solid tone over here. I'm not against that, but on top of that deltoid, on top of that chest muscle, underneath that rib cage, center line, shading underneath the lower abs. Look at how dimensional that looks on just like a quick 5-minute type sketch. All of my hints of shading lines are wrapping around the muscle fibers. And then if we come on down to this foot, this was an example that I was giving a student in this drawing class of planes. Okay, so look how flat this looks with just doing the tone. But then if we go back up to this torso, you see the directional lines make it a little bit more three-dimensional. All right, that's the tip of the week.